So for the linebackers, we'll start with Tremaine, who's the captain of our defense. Last year, he played 872 snaps. He had 1,007 tackles, 9 missed tackles, 0 forced fumbles, 1 interception, no sacks, and a passer rating against of 104.8, which isn't a great number, really. In 2020, he played 911 snaps, had 113 tackles, 15 missed tackles, 0 forced fumbles, 0 interception, but 1 sack, and he had a passer rating of 129.9. So Tremaine actually got better last year than he was the year before in pass coverage. Still tackling machine. Everyone talks about how many tackles he missed. He missed 9 tackles last year. Matt Milano missed 12. Milano missed more tackles than Tremaine did. However, Milano had a better pass coverage, but that makes sense. Milano was a former safety. So, I mean, we could talk about Tremaine all day long. I do think he's going to get a new contract here in Buffalo. The coaches love him. He's such a big dude in the middle, and he clogs up passing lanes where people don't throw it there because he's so big. So
has he led our team
in tackles
since he's been here as a rookie?
Yes.
See, guys, that's like, you guys got to take that in consideration as well. Like, this guy, I know he's not like this. You want maybe more production as far as maybe sacks go or
interceptions. They want the game-changing plays that he doesn't provide. That Luke Kuechly or Darius Leonard or maybe Warner, they all provide those guys.
Is that more of a scheme though? Right? Do you think he's capable? Because I think it's more of a scheme.
I mean, he's dropped some though, man. He's dropped some right in his hands.
No. I get that, but I'm talking about, like, let's say even sacks. Like, I think he could. I think if he was used more often in blitz packages, I think you would see more sacks from Edmunds, and people would be like, "Oh, Edmunds is the real deal." Like, but that's not what they use him. They drop him back a lot. Like, they just don't really use.
They don't use him the way Darius Leonard and Warner and those guys are used.
Correct.
He's used more of a center fielder, middle of the.
He's almost like a spy.
Defense. Yeah,
he's a spy linebacker. I mean, because he has the speed. Now, obviously, not like a guy like Tyreek Hill. Like, he's not going to catch a guy like that, but he can catch a relatively fast tight end or even a receiver. Mm-hmm. So, like, I see why they do that, but I'll be honest, Mikey, I would love for them to use him a little bit more in blitz packages.
Get a little bit more exotic.
Because when they do, I always feel like Milano and Edmunds get home. Like, when they send them, they don't really miss on sacks. Like, they make that tackle, and it shows you right there if he's leading our team in 107 tackles, right? That means he's more incapable of making a tackle and getting to the quarterback. So I would hope they would send them, at least Edmunds, a little bit more this season, and really, really disrupt quarterbacks. Because, man, if you think about it, you got the two edges, in Rousseau and Von Miller coming at you. Then you got the inside with Jordan Phillips and Oliver, right? And now you're bringing in on a linebacker blitz. Oh my God! Like, quarterbacks are going to have no time. So I hope they kind of designed some of those this season for him. But go ahead, Mikey.
I don't see a ton of him doing that, and the reason for that is because if we're going to run a little bit more man, that we're able to, because Kaiir Elam is a press man corner. His best trait is press man. Yeah. He's gonna learn zone and off coverage, and I think he has the traits to be able to succeed in that system. But with our D line and the rotation we're going to be bringing in, they're going to expect that front four to get home. I doubt you're going to see a lot of blitzing out of Edmunds and Milano unless we're trying to get creative on a team that is like quick hitter. That's the only way I see it happening. Because if you're going to send one of them, you got to drop one of those D linemen.
No, I get it. I'm not saying though, Mikey, like, consistently. I'm just saying it would be nice to mix it up a little bit more, blitz packages with them, because, like I said, when they did last year, I felt like they got home, and I forget what game it was, but Matt Milano, I think it was the Chiefs game. Wasn't the Chiefs game that he was on Mahomes quick on one. I forget what game, but Milano came in for it was a big time sack in the backfield, and I'm like, damn, like, where was that? Like, send him a little bit more often here and there, So I think they will, but, like, to your point, I understand the defense. I understand the scheme. They won't be doing it a ton, but I hope a little bit more.
I'd like to see Edmunds come a little bit more. Milano gets sent a lot more than Edmunds does. Edmunds is just such a huge guy in the middle. He closes passing lanes. Yeah. I think a lot of people's gripes about Tremaine is that he gets moved with the eyes by the quarterback a lot out of zones. And he doesn't quite have that feel. That's the biggest concern I've had about him. But again, he's a young guy. He's been in the league going on 5 years now.
He's really young.
And he's as young as some of the draft picks this year, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Then we have Matt Milano, our other starting linebacker in 2021. He had 915 snaps, 83 tackles, 12 missed. He didn't have any interceptions this year, but he had 3 sacks and a passer rating of 80.5. In 2020, he was hurt most of the year in 2020. He only had 335 snaps. He had 41 tackles, 5 missed, 1 interception, and 4 sacks with a coverage grade of 78.9. So he is pretty solid across the board. Milano. That's the thing about Milano is he's consistent. That's who you get. What you see is what you get when it comes to Milano.
Yeah, I thought out of all the contracts we did from last season, and I'm not saying Darrell Williams played terrible, but I thought Matt Milano definitely lived up to his contract.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think he was actually played better than his contract, which is really good to see from players that get paid. Because it was a decent contract, though it was still a team friendly kind of deal. He probably
very much a team friendly.
Yeah, he could have got paid a little bit.
11.
Yeah,
it's like an average of 11 or something like that a year.
I gotta look it up, but yeah, it was definitely a team friendly deal.
Wasn't it 4 for like 44 or something like that?
I have to. I really don't. I just remember them saying that he probably could have got more in the open market. But the thing is, man, too, you got to remember, Mikey. A lot of these players, they don't want to move. Like moving their families and going to a team that's
minimalist.
Right.
He doesn't have a lot. He doesn't need a lot.
Right.
So
right.
he loves the game. He loves the organization. He took a deal that gives him family wealth, because if you think about it, in 4 years he's going to be able to sign another one.
Yeah, and winning too. A winning culture, a good locker room, surrounded by good guys, good coaches. A good facility. One of the best training development. In the NFL. So yeah, listen, Buffalo is going to be and is starting to be the place to play if you're a free agent. So
yeah,
I think players will take a little less to come here or team friendly deals.
Yeah, so those were our 2 starting linebackers. Then we have our 3rd round pick, Tyrell Bernard. In 2021, he had 103 tackles during the senior season. I couldn't find his missed tackles or his forced fumbles, but he didn't have any picks, but he had 7.5 sacks.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't get his passer ready. I looked it up, tried to find it somewhere. Unless I wanted to drop some money on college PFF. Yeah. Was the only way I was getting that, and I wasn't dropping money for college guys.
I saw him some videos, clips, OTAs. Man, he is very undersized. He looks like a safety, bro. Like he looks like
Milano.
He has.
Remember how small?
I think Milano's still. I get it, but I think Milano's gotten bigger. Yeah,
Milano's gotten bigger.
Okay, bro.
Time, but if that's the plan,
if that's the plan, then cool. But for now, he looks like a safety, no doubt. Now, if they bulk him up, which I'm not saying he can't, then cool. But I think that's the most interesting pick we did, because I don't know what the plan is with him. Like, if it's just, are they going to put him on special teams right away? Is he going to be more of a guy that's just going to sit back and learn from Milano and not be on special teams? Because I don't think he played. Did he play special teams in college? Did he? Okay. So he may be. So if he is, cool, but I just still, we'll see. We'll see with him. It is interesting. The sacks are good. But I just don't, I hate his size, man. I really hope they bulk him up.
You know who he reminds me of this, like, size-wise, is Roquan Smith coming out. Roquan Smith was tiny coming out too.
Cheers, Miles Connor.
Yeah, Roquan Smith was small coming out of college, and then he's bulked up. That's who kind of Bernard reminds me of, is the way,
Yeah.
But he's a missile, man, and he hits. It doesn't matter about size; it's about heart. Teron Johnson tells you that all the time.
I get it. But Teron Johnson ain't a linebacker.
He plays the third linebacker for us in the nickel.
But he's not the main line.
But he comes up and makes the tackles like linebacker.
I get it, but he ain't taking Matt Milano's place anytime soon. Okay.
I don't think Terrell Bernard is taking anybody's place.
Well, that's what the word was. That's what everyone assumes, right? Like when we drafted him initially that's could be Matt Milano's replacement down the road. Mm-hmm. I don't see it. I'll be honest with you. Not now. However, Mikey, let's talk 2 seasons from now, and maybe I change my mind because maybe he bulks up. Maybe maybe he's actually making plays when they're using him on rotations coming in, and I see something from him. But right now, early on, boy, he probably has a lot work to do to get there, especially with putting on muscle.
That's an awful big thing to say on a guy who's never stepped on the field.
It is. I agree.
Hard to put someone in a box when they haven't even,
I agree.
Been open.
That's what I said. Like, well, wait. Well, I listen. That's what the good thing about rookies is, right? Like, especially a guy like that. There's no rush for him. Like, there isn't a rush. We have our linebacker set, right? Like, there's no need to get him on the field ASAP. This isn't a quarterback issue or
he's going to play special teams, and then probably the third linebacker.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm okay with that. But I would assume though that he will put weight on. I promise you that.
Yeah.
So what's going on, Brandon?
So ultimately, then that's where we start getting into after Bernard, because I think Bernard as a 3rd round pick is going to make the team regardless. I think he's going to be a special teams guy.
100%.
And then we get into like the real bubble guys, and I put Tyler Mataki up here because he's been a core special teamers. He's also has more, he played as the backup middle last year after Klein. He came into a few games. So last year he had 44 defensive snaps, 6 tackles, 1 missed, and a 33.3 passer rating grade. But it was like, mop up duty. It is what it is. In 2020, he played 72 snaps, had 10 tackles, 1 missed, and he had a 90.6 passer rating grading. So he actually got better last year as a linebacker, which is a good thing to see. He's also a core special temer. So I have a feeling he's going to make the team regardless.
Yeah, I think McDermott likes him a lot too. Like that's like a McDermott guy.
Yeah. And then we have Tyrell Dodson, undrafted free agent or undrafted rookie a few years back, who's just kind of stuck around the practice squad and made the team. Last year he had 79 snaps, 9 tackles, 2 misses, and a 92.5 rating. In 2020, he filled in for Milano for a little while before he got hurt. He had 172
the logo's
snaps.
blocking it, but you can read it.
He had 172 snaps, 19 tackles, 4 missed, 1 sack, and a 93.8 passer rating. So he wasn't great as a Milano replacement, but neither was Klein really. They used once they stopped trying to use Klein like Milano, and they started like sending Klein as a downhill guy. He played better.
Yeah.
And then we have Andre Smith, who is another guy who actually had some snaps. He is suspended, but he was a special teamer last year. He had 1 defensive snap last year. That's it.
All right.
In 2020, he had 47 snaps. He had 7 tackles, 1 missed, 1 forced fumble, and an 88.5 passer rating. But then we also have the Marquis Lees, JoJo Harris, and Braylon Spector, who is probably going to be all practice squad.